In today's show, we're going to talk about PowerApps Office 365 user search. It's more than a mouthful, but it's one of those topics where if you've got just a few users, it's not a big deal. The functions are easy to use, doesn't take a lot of advanced stuff. But if you've got thousands or millions of users to deal with, then you have to come up with some custom solutions. So we're going to look at the solution that I came up with in order to enable the scenario where I can choose a bunch of users and then send them emails via a picker. We'll also probably look a little bit at the Microsoft option they released in the last few months, just so you can get an idea how that works. But should be fun. But first, here's our intro. Hi, my name is Shane Young with PowerApps 911. Those guys. In today's show, we're going to talk about the PowerApps Office 365 search users. It's one of those fun little functions, right? We'll kind of look at some of the options around it. But one of the challenges of the function is that it only allows you to, by default, return the first 100 users. And with a little tinkering, you can turn up to 999. But what about when you have thousands or tens of thousands of users? What do you do? How do you make this critter work? So that's what I thought we would do. And I also had to mention it is New Year's Eve. So happy New Year's Eve going into 2019, right? So I realize these videos last a long time. And you're like sitting there in your bathing suit going, it's not New Year's Eve, you dummy. Well, today when I'm recording it is. So anyway, thought I'd just mention that. Also point out, I have no idea why I put Cheez-Its in the background, but I did. Okay, that's enough. Let's jump over and look at a real quick example of what I did. I'll show you the customer's example, and then we will kind of work together to build it. Cool? Cool. Okay, so over here on my desktop, I have set up this little thing. Let's remove all these users. And so what you can see is I've got a nice little search box up here. So it says type a part of the person's name to get started. So we're going to do A, and when I type A, it makes this combo box appear. And if you hit the drop down, here's all the users that have an A in their name. Now, A is kind of a generic, so if we do like Meg, I think, then we've got, there you go, Megan's record. And if I choose Megan, a couple things are going to happen. One is she's going to get put in a collection, so that way we can notify her. But secondly, notice that everything's going to reset, right? So I'm going to click on Megan. Boom, it jumps over. Now if we jump back over here and start to type in Grady, right, there's Grady. So over here on the right, we're showing a collections of the users that you've chosen through the combo boxes. Now, if you look at it, you might be like, wait a minute, why are you kind of going through all these hoops when a combo box could just do a lot of this for us? It could, but in the cases where we've got more than 999 users, which is a lot of my customers, what happens is they can't use this. So listing all the people after 999 is not possible. So that's where we had to get away from the combo box and kind of come up with a custom solution here. So this is what I came up with. Hopefully you like it. And then once we get done with choosing the users, because of the customer solution, I want to email all the people. So we're going to talk about how to use the concat function to get all of these email addresses into one to-line, make it nice and easy to email them. All right. And then I think at the end, we'll also probably demo, Microsoft made a screen for doing this type of stuff. So we'll probably look at theirs for a second too. All right. And then I just want to switch over here, another tab. So notify people. So this is a screenshot from the customer's app because as always, I build ugly in these videos. And so this is how it manifested itself. This is actually their purchasing order app. And so this is where the delivery information. So it's like, hey, where do you want, who's going to deliver it? Where are they going to deliver it to? And then this is that functionality that we're about to build. So we start to type in a name. I get a drop down. And then these are the people that have already been selected to be notified, right? Because what they want to do is when the item lands at the job site, they want to send an email off to 4 or 5 people, all the people that you, the person that's filling out the delivery request, would put in. So that's what their app looks like. And this is really kind of helping you back to why did I go through all the effort of making this myself? Well, the reason I made it myself is because I needed it to fit in this nice little bundle down here at the bottom instead of the big option that Microsoft makes. All right? Okay, so that's theirs. That's our demo. So let's go over here. And instead of working on this one, let's just start with a blank app. So we'll go back over here, PowerApps, and I'll hit pause when I create a new app. Okay, so blank tablet app. I decided I'd get a drink when that happened. You guys didn't want to watch it anyway. And so over here, let's start with the very basics, right? We'll kind of work our way into this problem. So the first thing I want to do is view a data source. We're going to add a data source. And what we're going to do is we're going to add the Office 365 users data source. If you don't already have it, you would just say new connection, scroll for a really long time because there's no search for this thing, unfortunately. And when you get down here, you would find Office 365 users. The way I always find it, it's kind of this nice orange color in the middle of all these blue icons, right? So this is usually how I find it scrolling. Anyway, so you would select that. And once you select that, you would get this, okay? So that's your connection to Office 365 users. Boom, we got a connection in our app. Okay, now boom, we have a connection. Okay, so then now let's go over here and let's kind of start with the beginning of that. And so what we're gonna do is we're gonna insert a combo box, because for a lot of people, this is where they start. Like, all right, well, combo box is probably gonna let us do what we want. And remember, there's a video below I linked to it where I kind of went over the basics of a combo box, because they're kind of a grumpy control. They do what they want, right? So learning to use a combo box takes a little more than I want to cover here. But all right, so with the combo box, what I'm going to do is I'm going to set the items, and I'm going to say, all right, I want to do Office 365. And so do Office 365 users. That's only there after we added the data source we just added. And so then you can see we can do direct reports, search users, managers, profiles, trendings, updates, pictures, etc. So what we want to do is the only one that lists all the users, or in theory lists all the users, is the search user option. Also note, if you see any of these V2s, if you ever see a V2, always use the V2, not the old one. They're kind of backwards compatibility, blah, blah. Okay, so with search users, well, what you can really do here is just close this. And then just like that, if we kind of click off of our combo box and back in, click on custom now, you can see I can control and say, all right, I want to show the display name. And what field do I want to search by? The display name. And then now if I hold down the Alt key and press the button. So there's all of the users in this Active Directory. And this is one of those Microsoft demo tenants, because I didn't want to show you my customers' users, and I didn't want to deal with all the extra people in ours, so whatever. Anyway, so this particular environment only has 24 users. So the search user, what I have here, if you've only got 24 users, or really if you've only got less than 100 users, what I've got here will work perfectly fine. And you could go in here now and start typing in and say, all right, I want to search for Braun, and there's Emily Braun, okay? All right, and then we'd select her, boom, there she'd be. We could clear this out. We could say now search for Grady again. There's Grady. And so we've got a way to collect and do the users. So works great if you've got less than 100, because this drop down, or the search users, only returns the first 100 by default. So what if you've got more than 100 but less than 999? Well, what you can do is you could go up here and you could say, all right, so instead of this, what I want to do is I want to do the top. And so the top, it will take any number from 1 to 999. I don't know, I don't get lost, but if we put in 999, you're going to see that I am going to get back the same exact result, so I only had 24, but there's a perfectly happy function. Now notice the silly combo box did go and change itself. It's like, wait a minute, look, now you're going to see a different field. We're going to ignore the combo box being a pain in the butt, okay? But if you go up here and try and say, all right, well, I've got 1,500, or I've got 1,000 users in my environment. You type in 1,000, or any number above 1,000, you're going to get this warning, you know, search user failed, one or more input values are invalid. Ugh. So that's the problem that I keep having to overcome with my clients. They've got thousands of users. All right. So this is where I decided to invent a solution. And the way that I kind of came up with this was looking at one of the examples Microsoft had provided, and I liked what they had done, but not how they had put it together, I guess. So I stole their concept and made it into this little tighter bundle. So the first thing we're going to do is we're going to change this top back to, I'm going to just do 500. It doesn't matter, but that'll get rid of my error message. Yay. So let's add a label, not a label. Let's add an input. Let's add a text input. And so I'm going to go up here, I'm going to get rid of the default value, and I'm going to just put in some simple hint text like start typing a username to search. Okay. So then now I can type in here, but I didn't wire it up to anything. Let's type in Grady's name again. Grady. And then what we're going to do is we're going to go down to this guy and we're going to say, all right, so instead of the top 500, what I really want you to do is the other option, search term. So I want you to search our friend text input 1 dot text. Close it off like this and this. And so then now what will happen? Well, actually, let's fix our combo box. Let's say I want you to show display name again, so we don't have to mess with this. Display name. Say play. Okay, so we got Grady. But if I hit the drop down, you can see that we're only seeing Grady. If I go up here and change this to be BR. Then we've just got Emily, right? So we've made a search box. Now you're thinking, wait a minute, I have the ability to use search in here. You do, but remember that this search, so if you decide to use the search capabilities that come with the combo box, it's only searching the items that are available. There's no way to say, hey, search box, use, put the search, what they put in the search box and the search term up here. So to do this solution, what we actually want to do is we're going to turn off search. So on the combo box, you can go down here and you can say, is searchable, I believe. Yep, there it is. And so we're going to change is search to false. So that'll get rid of the silliness that we were having where we got like 2 search experiences, but only one of them actually worked. So that's one way, or that's one piece. The next thing I also want to do is for my solution, I decided I did not want to let my users select multiple at a time. So I changed select multiple to false. So in that way, they can just pick one person at a time out of my search box. Right? If we hit preview again and we do like an A, so then notice there's no searching, but here's all the users. And then now we can choose Alan. Boom. Alan of the Young. I like it. All right. So that's moving us down the path, right? Because now we don't have to worry about the top anything, right? Now, I guess to be fair, if they did search for an A, this is only going to return the top 100 A's. And so if you really wanted to, you could come back up here and say search term that, and then you could do comma, top, and then 900. Oh, that is not how you do it. Top 999 like that. And so then now we'd get the first 999 of the A's. And then you can see the combo box, because the combo box does what the combo box wants. It switched back to city. So we'll go back in here and say, once again, show me the display name. The good news is that the combo box really only randomly resets the search fields and the display fields. So if you're not using search like we don't have to worry about that. And then we just have the one display field. If you wanted to add a second one, no problem, right? You could do a double. And then you could say mail. So then that way now in the dropdown, we would see both the user's name and email. Okay, good. Rolling right along, right? So we've gotten a little bit better. Now let's talk about how we're going to store that. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to say, all right, on change. So every time that you select a new user in there, what do I want to do? I'm going to create a collection. So I'm going to say collect. Oh, but I'm not going to do that. I'm going to say collect. And then I'm going to call it collect users to email. I don't know. And then the item. What I'm going to do is I'm going to have a name. I'm going to say, all right, your name is that. And so then what is that going to be? It's going to be combo box 1 dot selected. Now remember with combo boxes, you get selected items and selected. We only have the one, so we're just going to use selected. So combo box 1 selected, and then dot display name. And then we're going to say email is combo box 1 dot selected dot mail. I don't know why they decided to make it mail instead of email. I'm not here to judge, just weird. Okay, but so then now what should happen is if I click those users or click a user, it should show up over in my the collection that we're going to show on gallery. So let's try again. So we got to change it to get something to show up. So let's click on this and we'll do Alex. Okay, so now we know we should have a user in our collection, and we could confirm that by going to View Collections. Yep, Alex is sitting there. And so then now what we want to do is we're going to insert a gallery over here. So gallery, a vertical, because I always do a vertical for some reason. Put this over here. There's our collection. We're going to do title and subtitle. Boom, we're showing our users. And then just to make this a little more manageable, I'm going to get rid of this arrow because I don't need that, but I'm going to stick a icon over here. Icon trash, right? And so this way, if I add a user I didn't mean to add, what we're going to do here is we would just use the remove function and say remove from collect users to email this item. And so that would get that person out of our collection, right? So if you select the wrong user. But now, right, if we do this and we type in a B, we can hit the drop down. Oh, let's get Deborah. So Deborah's in our collection of people to email. We can grab Emily as well. Pretty cool. Okay, so now that's kind of keeping us moving right along, but I felt like that wasn't, it's still a little awkward, right? It bothers me that, I have to kind of go and delete and undo. So what I came up with was, at first what I came up with was I threw a little reload icon over here, right? I said, all right, icon. What I want to do with you is when you get selected, I want you to reset my combo box and then reset my text input. So then if I click on that, hey, everything goes back to its default value. It was kind of funny. I won't show you the terrible solution, but at first I'd forgotten all about the reset function. So I came up with this really complicated way to reset everything. And I got it all done and working. I was like, oh, that's pretty cool. People want to see that. And then I was like, wait a minute. I just reinvented the reset function. So I felt pretty stupid at that point. All right, but so then that now lets it so that my users can go in here. So if we search for an A, all right, we hit the drop down, we're like, oh, there's Grady, we'll add Grady. And I can click this and that resets everything back to default. That's great and all, but no one wants to click, right? That's a lot of work. So what are we gonna do? I went over here and said, well, you know what? Every time I change this, that's when I want to reset, right? So what I'm going to do here is I'm going to take advantage of the select function and select icon 2, right? Icon 2 is my little delete icon, right? Probably should rename that, would be a better way to go. But so that'll essentially press the button for me. So now if we search for an S, I don't know. Oh, there's Joni. We choose Joni. Everything reset automatically for us. So in reality, I didn't need this reset button, but I thought that was kind of a neat way to manifest it. And it gave me a chance to show you guys how to use select, but you could absolutely, you could leave this here if you want to let your users be able to reset. You could turn it invisible, or probably the most responsible thing would be just grab this code and go down here and say, all right, instead of selecting icon 2, just paste that in right there. Now we can get rid of that. And we should still have the same functionality. Who's Megan? So we added Megan down there and it all reset. Yeah, moving right along. All right. So one more thing I found awkward, that was the fact that I was showing them this drop-down box when there's, right. So right now it's showing them the box and it's showing them all the items. In my case, I only have 24, so it's showing all of them. But remember, if you're in that company that has thousands of people, that's the reason you put this in, you don't want to show people a drop-down box that only has part of the users. They're going to be like, why isn't my name in there? I spent 4 hours scrolling line by line and find my name. You know what had happened. All right. So what I decided to do then was I'm going to take this combo box and I'm just going to say, hey, your visible property is going to be, and what we're going to do based on is blank, text input 1 dot text. Right? So if our thing is blank, we want to show, no, that's not right, right? We want to use the not operator, which is just the exclamation point. So we want to do the opposite of that. So if this is blank, if they haven't typed in any search terms, this is blank. But as soon as they start typing in search terms, then the box shows up, then the search works, then they get pieces. Pretty cool. See, and this is the downside, I think, though, of taking away the manual reset button over here that we originally had. Because now I'm like, oh, I don't want to choose Grady. Now I have to go up here and manually hit the backspace key. So much work. Should have left the reset button here for him. All right. So hopefully that helps you guys understand my cute little solution. I don't know. I came up with this today on the fly, and I kind of liked it. So that's why I wanted to share it. So let's finish the scenario, though, with my customer. So what they wanted to do was they wanted to be able to email all the people that got put over here. Okay, so now I've got a collection with all these email addresses. So how do I get that stuff out of there? Well, here's literally what I did. I said, all right, give me a label, throw it on the screen. And now what we're going to do is we're going to start with the simple. We're going to say, all right, concat. So concat is a function that works its way through a table and then it extracts or runs an expression over that table to come up with text for you. So what collection do we want? We want the collect users to email. And we're going to grab the email field. And that's all I want. I just need the email field. Easy enough. And then there's an optional parameter. So we hit a comma. What do you want the separator to be? Well, I want a comma to be the separator. But that's a text comma, right? So what we're going to do is we're going to say shift, little like quotes there like that. So that will put a comma between them, close my parentheses. And so then now if we make this nice and big, you can see there is every email address out of that collection, comma separated. Doom, 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 doom. And then actually what these guys wanted, they also wanted the email to go to, or well, they wanted to store in a SQL for the email to be sent later, the current logged in user. So by default, so I just said, all right, well, give me user.email, right? Oh, .email, so that's the current user. Oh, I lost my collect. Typing is hard. Oh no, not collect. Concat. Oh my goodness, I have destroyed this demo. There we go, there's concat. So user email and so then I need to put a comma in. Right, and so what does that do? That just takes and puts my email address at the front of the string. So it puts my name in, and then it puts in Alex and Deborah and Emily and Grady and Joni and Megan, blah, 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 blah. But so then that gave me one string. And this string, because it's got a proper email address separated by a comma, that is the format that our dearly beloved send email command wants, right? So now if I said view data sources, add a user, or new connection, so then we want Outlook, not outlook.com. Ugh. New connection, let's try this again. We want the Office 365 Outlook. There we go. Create a connection to that. And so then now we can insert a button. And so then this button would just be Office 365 dot send email v2, right? Always use the v2s when they show up. Good idea. And then the 2, and so what we can do is we can just, I can do is one of two ways. I can say label2.text. So just uses the labels text and then subject and body. Oh, like that. So I could use the label, or because you probably don't want a big label with all this garbage on it, right? Just grab the formula out of there, Control X, go down here and say, all right, so instead of sending it to label 2, just send it to that formula. All right, we can just delete label 2 altogether. Boom. Now we have a button that will send an email to all of those people. Yes. All right. So that's, I think, works through all of my solution. So hopefully that kind of gives you a little thought there. What I want to do for a second, though, is I want to show you the Microsoft's newest release, right? So they released a new screen template for doing this type of stuff, because it was enough to kind of get my brain moving in this direction, even though I didn't end up using it. But so up here, if you click on New Screen and you say People, right, and there's lots of them to check out. So the People one, and we'll just hit play. You're going to see it's very similar, right? We can type in BR. Oh, there's our friend Emily. We select Emily and it puts her down here. And if we type in GR for Grady, and we're able to get that. So I'm not going to tear apart their screen right now, but basically it's a couple of different galleries. And so what they're doing is they're just kind of showing and hiding things based on whether or not you've typed text up here, whether or not there's results. And then at the end of the day, they're just storing everything into this My People. And we view collections. So collect users email, you can see I just stored the name and the email, just the two things I needed. They wanted to be more complete, so they said they stored everything, which is great, right? They just put the whole item in there, but I only needed two things, so I only stored the two things. You want to keep collections as small as possible. They, on the other hand, were trying to kind of show you and get you moving. So I love these type of solutions from them, these screens. I often won't take and incorporate them directly into my app, but I go and I look at how they did this and I reverse engineer it just the same way that I learned PowerApps, a couple years ago. I go in and just reverse engineer the things they've done, and it gets me thinking and looking and coming up with different possibilities. So, all right, I think that's enough for today. I would love to hear from you guys. What do you think of this solution? Have you come up with your own more creative solution, right? There's probably 12 different ways you could skin this particular animal. So, yeah, see, I'm being nice to cats. I'm so kind. But I don't know. This was what I came up with. I liked it. I'd love your feedback, though. I haven't rolled it out for the customer yet, so maybe it's a really bad idea, and you'll tell me that and save the day. I hope not, though. Feel free to leave me comments below. I respond to all the comments. You can hit me up on Twitter @Shane'sCows or good old PowerApps 911. So thanks, and have a great day. Hey, it's me again. If you got a second, click the subscribe button. That always keeps me making more videos. Or if you want to work together, need some help getting your Power Apps going, hit me up at PowerApps 911. Always happy to work together. Or finally, if you're really just looking for more videos, that's probably what it is. Check out the Power Apps playlist over here and enjoy that. All right, thanks and have a great day.